Okay, so now we're looking at a batch of tosai Showa that recently arrived from Japan less than a week ago so far. These are from Hoshikin. Now, many of you might know him as a Kohaku breeder. He is one of the best at that game, one of the longest serving Kohaku bloodlines in Japan. I love him, but I say in recent years, it's been for quite a while now, he's been producing Showa as what he calls a hobby. When breeders like Hoshikin have a hobby, it's fascinating to watch. I've enjoyed watching this one. Now, what I love about Hoshikin Showa is, with it being his hobby, commercial reasons are not, the inspiration behind what he's doing. He's following what he loves. What he loves is Kindai Showa, and that is the main part of his Showa production. That's not to say we don't get other types of Showa amongst them. Of course we do. But his focus throughout selections and breeding is to try and make the best Kindai Showa for his own enjoyment. So yeah, pretty awesome. Now the pond we're using again is one of the 3,500 gallon ponds. There's 1,000 pieces in there altogether. The fish are currently about 4 to 5 months old, roughly, sitting on average about 12 to 15 centimeters. So pretty nice size expected from a breeder like that, to be honest with you. They're currently at 22 degrees. That's going to be raised to 24 shortly. And yeah, I can't wait to see what results we can generate from these. Again, we're going to be following these ones over the next 12 months. So all the different selection points, we're going to get the camera out, see where the fish are at, and give you an update on progress so you can see how they're getting on. I've got a few in the bowl to take a closer look at now, and again talk through what I'm seeing, what I expect to see at the first selection, what some of the criteria is going to be, and to give you an idea of where they're at currently. So yeah, in here again, as we discussed, if you saw the video about the Shinoda Hiyotsuri, I'll put a link to that in the description below. There's quite a size differential going on. Not so many of the really smaller fish in here, although we've got a few. As you can see here, that fish quite below the average that's going on. And then we have got quite a few that are way above the average. You see the size of that's already considerable. This piece here, this one, already sort of far too big for the bunch. So at the first selection, we'll again be looking to take away the really small fish if they're not managed to catch up with the rest of the pack, and the bigger ones, regardless of quality, will have to get moved either to the selection that will be released for sale, or to another pond with similar sized fish to be raised further. So it's really important we keep the average size pretty close in order to get consistently good results. A small percentage of these bigger fish will dominate at feeding, and that will affect the results of the wider batch. So yeah, they've got to go. Now, young Showa, I think it's important to remember that young Showa start their life completely black. Kohaku culling is where the breeder, the fish are really tiny at that point, picks the black ones from the white, because obviously the black ones hold the sumi. Start off completely black, and then the pattern starts to emerge as the fish grow. So that's an important thing to bear in mind during the selection, that the pattern is still just forming. So we do expect these to look darker, as a lot do. Not to be put off, not at this size certainly. So yeah, important point to consider that one. Amongst this as well, we'll obviously look for deformities. We can already see here, this one at an early size is looking slightly bloated around mid-body. So that's going to be a fish that will have to go. That's just, it's not illness, it's just a body deformity, which is just going to grow out and become worse and worse as that fish gets bigger. So particularly with Showa, looking for deformities is important. That they're quite renowned for it. Certainly checking the mouth and the underside of the fish as we go along, just so we don't waste any time investing resources into something that's going to have no value. My selection criteria for these in particular, I'm going to primarily be focusing on beni pattern. as much as I can. Sumi to me is not important. There's going to be such a considerable change in the sumi as these fish grow. It's pointless trying to predict what the sumi pattern is going to do. The sumi quality itself is not actually showing its fullest yet either, so it's pretty hard to assess. Some fish we might see will have sort of lower quality sumi for sure. They'll be rejected. The deformed fish we focused on earlier actually already is a case that's not good quality sumi already. So if we compare it to this fish already that's shot off, you can already see there's much more thickness and depth to that sumi, so much better fish overall. Something like that, I think that's a fish you might be looking at that already thinking that's going to be too dark. This is more than likely a fish that would be selected to keep. That sumi pattern is going to fall back a lot as that fish starts to grow. There's nice little characteristics like the odame there, so nice beni pattern forming on the head. Beni quality looks good as well. I think you have to bear in mind, again, this is a good example, the beni, these fish will have had no colour food to date. Again, we spoke in the Hikari video about the importance of colour food for achieving the right level of pigmentation. This orangey colour is absolutely fine for this age. In fact, that's the better colour to be looking for. I can see the thickness is really good, so I have no problems with that. Again, this fish, along similar lines, the more orangey colour, again, there's good thickness, so we don't have any problems. My concerns come with fish like this one. Yep, it's slightly more red in colour, but we can already see there's no quality. The colour's actually already starting to fall apart. So that's told us it's become red because there's not a lot of thickness there. And yeah, that's not going to be a shower for much longer. This fish here is another example. We can see again, there's not a lot of even when we look down this side now, there's not a lot of thickness to that colour either. So yep, it's the orangey hue, but no thickness, so that's not a fish that would be kept. What you haven't got to be too concerned about is keeping the ones with the brighter colour. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have better quality pigmentation or skin whatsoever. It can just be that it's just progressed a little bit more than the others. Could even be very early signs of the gender showing. So yeah, interesting batch. There's a lot to do. You're going to see big changes in these as they progress. They're going to be kept primarily now over the next few weeks. Going to be raised up to 24 degrees and feeding will change. We'll change the mix on these to 50% growth and 50% colour, just so we can part pushing the size and bringing that colour up as well, ready for the next selection. So yeah, really mixed batch. I'm happy with the overall quality. Going to be really nice to see. You can see there's quite a mix of Showa styles in there. Even ones you're potentially looking at thinking it's possibly more traditional, like this fish. It's probably going to make a more sort of Kindai looking Showa as the size progresses. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing what happens with these ones. So that's been the Hoshikin Showa. I hope you're a little bit more enlightened of what I'm seeing in them and what the plans are. Really excited to see what these do. Like I say, I do love Hoshikin Showa. I've supplied some superb examples in recent years. The quality is always, really good, really consistent. To have them so young is quite exciting because it's also going to allow you to see the progression and hopefully allow you to select better fish when they're younger as well, by just, probably looking at things that you potentially would normally dismiss. Yeah, we're going to get these back in now, get quarantine finished. The next video will be in probably 4 or 5 weeks time when the next selection is due. So I'll look forward to showing you where we've got to at that point. If you've enjoyed watching the video, please hit the subscribe button. You'll get a notification every time there's new content to be released. And thanks for watching.